All right, cool. Flatline MMA podcast episode number 15. The Flatline boys are back with special guest, our boy Zach. Look at the beard. He's looking good. You guys know the deal by now. 2020, new content, new everything. Podcast is sponsored by CBD Medic. Click the link below. Go buy some 10% off. Use the code Flatline10. Excited about today's episode. We're talking all things McGregor Cowboy. We're talking UFC 246 main event. And we got the boys together to talk about it. Guys, biggest card of the year already. Starting off 2020 with the biggest star in UFC history. We got Conor McGregor taking on Cowboy Cerrone, formerly known as Donald Cerrone, in the main event at UFC 246. We got Conor coming up to face Cowboy at welterweight. Overall, I mean, there's so many just different things going around. There's so many different predictions. I really do believe that this is going to be a better fight than I think a lot of people think. But I wanted to get my boys together. I wanted to talk predictions. I wanted to talk analysis. So, listen, McGregor Cowboy, what do you guys think, first of all? What do you guys think about the fight being at welterweight, first of all?
Yeah, it is a pretty weird move because neither of them have fought too much at 170. Yeah. But I think it works in Cerrone's favor, to be honest. I think the extra weight, it might affect McGregor's cardio too. So yeah. I think that's Cerrone's real chance in this fight, is trying to take him to the later rounds.
Yeah, Cerrone has a lot more experience at welterweight than McGregor for sure. I mean, he had a pretty good run at welterweight. So I think that definitely, I agree, it's in his favor. You know why they're doing it? They're doing it so they can set up that Masvidal McGregor fight, so they can do that beat it. They're gonna do it. They're doing it for the BMF belt. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, that's one reason that people are thinking. And then McGregor said in his interview he's planning on the Ferguson-Khabib fight not happening. So he didn't want to go through a weight cut right now. He wanted to, be at 170 and then cut the weight to 155 and be ready for that to step in whenever. So,
to be completely honest, that's the last thing I want to hear, because if anything happens to Tony and Khabib, I'll probably stop watching MMA as a whole. I'll probably stop, honestly.
Yeah, that's the only fight I want to see this year. That's the only fight I want to see this year.
And what scares me is that Conor calls his shot. And if he, in the back of his mind, thinks that he's getting ready for this fight, I think something might happen. I'm just going to say it now. I don't know who I see pulling out, but if he's right about this, he truly is Mystic Mac.
Yeah.
But, I mean, no, I think just with the whole 170 thing, obviously it saves him from cutting weight, right? Mm-hmm. But, Kev, I do agree with you. I mean, Cowboy's a big boy. He's a big boy. I don't think he's like Masvidal big, but like he's big for Conor, man.
And he's 6'2", isn't he? I think he's 6'2". He's tall.
I think he's either 6'1", 6'2". He's a big boy. And I mean, obviously we've seen Conor's cardio in the past. We've seen it at, welterweight, right? It's not the best. He gasses for like a round and maybe he regains it, but I don't know. We'll see. He posted the pic like last week. He looked big, man. He's blowing up. Like he's getting ripped. So I'm curious to see what he's going to look like, man. And like, it seems like from that interview that he just released that he's got that like old Conor mindset where he's like all about training. Like he's barely doing any media. Like I really do feel like this is like an old McGregor that we're seeing. And then, yeah, Zach, you're right. I think they're trying to set up something bigger, whether it's with the Masvidal or whether they're trying to get him to set up for the first 3-division champ, which I don't want to see Conor face Usman, because I don't want to see a friggin' I think he'd get fucked up by Usman. I think he would get dominated from the first round to the 5th round. Usman can't finish Conor. I think he'll just wrestle fuck out of him like for 5 rounds. That's it.
So I think he'd finish him from exhaustion.
Yeah, I think it's more like after seeing like the Usman-Colby fight and then their boxing, it's like, yeah, it wasn't pretty, but dude, Usman's a big boy. Usman's huge, dude.
Yeah, Usman would kind of take him down at will.
Yeah.
He didn't even try to shoot or take Colby down just because they're both high-level wrestlers. But
yeah,
with McGregor, I think he'd pretty much do what Khabib did to him. He just ride him up against the cage, take him down.
Yeah, I think with Conor at 170, it's just like crazy because other than like the Masvidal fight, right, which I think makes sense next. It's like after that, I don't see like a future for him there. It's like, yeah, I know you got the Khabib rematch, right? Other than like Nate at 170, it's just like, why is he doing it? Like, what's the big picture between like for 170 for him? You know what I mean?
That's
Because
a
it's
good
like,
point. Talking about Nate at 170, because people would watch a trilogy with them because of how their other two fights went, and I think that the whole reason he's doing that is he's got those two guys to fall back on after this fight.
yeah. Do you
They,
think?
regardless, they would definitely do the Nate Diaz fight again. I think they would run that back.
So that's a good question. But so let's say Cowboy starches Conor. Does the Nate fight still have like that flavor to it? Because it's still a trilogy, but if he gets starched, like let's just say he gets head kicked from hell, and I mean, is Conor done, or do you think that Nate Diaz fight is still big? Is he still the biggest star in the UFC?
I think he'd be the star regardless, right? But
Really?
fight, I don't think that he would still have that. Well, he lost. He got choked out by Diaz before. That's a pretty rough loss. So I mean,
Yeah.
getting starched by Cerrone is nothing to hang your head on. I mean, it would definitely hurt his I don't know what would you call it, his reputation, but
Yeah.
it would still I would still watch that fight just based on how awesome the first two were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the tough thing with Conor is because he rose so fast, and now to see him, he lost to Diaz, beat Diaz right after, but then he lost the boxing match, lost to Khabib. It seems like people hold him to a higher standard just because he was winning so much when he first, made his rise.
Yeah, I mean, he's something special. And like, dude, I would love to see just he comes in quick. He makes easy work of Cowboy, like first round, something like that, right? Because, dude, I think people forget, like, there's a lot of like Conor lovers who are like, this is an easy fight for him. He's gonna starch Cowboy in one, like all that shit. But like, people don't realize that, like, dude, Cowboy's got every record in the UFC. The man is dangerous, and people keep forgetting his ground game's stupid. He's got a great ground game. So it's like, I don't think these Conor fans like understand, like, he's dangerous on the ground. So it's like this could not end well for Conor. And if he gasses out or anything, I know Cowboy came out and he said he's going to stand and bang with Conor because that's what the fans want. But I mean, if he feels that left hand, he's going to be like, oh shit, I'm going to take this to the ground. Like, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? And then it's going to be an easy night for Cerrone. I just look at it and it's like, for Cerrone, I know there was like accusations, people coming at Cowboy being like, oh, he's taking a fall for money so, Conor can become the big star again, like all this stuff, which I think is bullshit. Cowboy comes to fight every time. He's literally one of the biggest badasses in UFC history. So it's just crazy because, like, if Cowboy wins, where does he go from here?
I think he'd call it. That'd be like his. I think he'd probably call a career with that.
But do you think he fights? Is this like a title eliminator? Like what? I mean, this is Cowboy's chance to go for the title again. Like, do you think a win over McGregor is a title, gets him a title fight at 170 or no?
Nah, I don't think so. And even at 155, he's got the Gaethje loss, the Ferguson loss.
Yeah.
Maybe he beat Iaquinta, but I think having those two losses, I think Gaethje's probably got the next shot at 155 if McGregor doesn't win, and then at 170, I don't think there's really room for him in that conversation with Edwards and Tyron Woodley and some of the other guys in Masvidal.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. 170 is friggin' stacked right now, and there's guys that deserve it way more. And I actually agree with you, Zach. I mean, I think you beat McGregor like that, you just walk away, man. You walk away with the red panty night.
Biggest payday.
Dude, obviously Cowboy's getting a ton of money for this fight. So But you know what? There's no one in the UFC that deserves it more than Cowboy, honestly.
Yeah, well, didn't Cerrone say that he wanted to have like 50 wins before he retired, or something like that?
Something
he did that
crazy
in like a pretty
like that.
recent interview.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, the guy fights like 5 times a year. It's
Yeah, he
insane.
fights every weekend. So
Literally every weekend.
Every weekend.
And you know what? Before that, before the Tony fight, I mean, he was on a tear. He was Dad Cerrone, dude. He was undefeated as a dad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was killing everyone. That Iaquinta win was so impressive to me.
yeah, that really was.
Because Iaquinta was on a tear too. And just to see that, I mean, dude, Donald's got it all, man. I think he's good everywhere, and he's got fucking heart. And like, I love the fact that he just like has his own ranch that he trains at. Like, I think that's so badass. And yeah, he's just a fucking man's man. So, whatever happens to him, I think it's, good for him. I want him to get that payday and just fucking spend it on Budweiser. I don't even care. But so obviously, Conor's coming in as the favorite for this fight, right? Does it make sense? Do you think? I know fucking Gaethje's been calling him out shit like that. Do you think a Gaethje fight makes sense next for Conor? Or do you think he even wants that fight? Because that's a dangerous fight for Conor.
Yeah, I don't think he really wants that fight, to be honest.
Man, who the fuck would?
They don't like his. But then again, I don't know. Gaethje would probably stand with him, and that's plays right into McGregor's strengths, And
yeah,
what's his name? Gaethje's a great wrestler, but he just hasn't used it at all, and that would probably be really not where he wins, but he's got the leg kicks, he's got power in his hands, so like I think he could stand and trade with McGregor for a little bit, but I think you would have to mix in his wrestling to wear him down, get him tired.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Conor, there's too many options, right? He's getting called out left and right. Everyone wants to fight him. Everyone wants the money fight. Like, trust me, I would freaking stand in the ring for $1 million to fight freaking Conor. I just think like what do you guys think about kind of the promotion and the build up to this? I don't know if you guys watched any of the football games over the weekend, but there was this like sick McGregor commercial, and it was like the most controversial, the most loved like fighters back, and then it's just like all Conor. Like there's no Cerrone in it. It's all Conor. And what worries me about this is that do you guys remember when like Rousey came back and fought Nunes, and the whole promotion was just Ronda, and there was nothing about Nunes, and then she gets starched in friggin' 43 seconds. I'm not saying that like that's how I'm feeling about it, but it's like you can't disrespect like Cerrone like that and like not promote him or whatever. But like I know Conor can promote this fight himself and do whatever, but it's like the whole commercial was just like the king is back, like McGregor's back, like didn't say who his opponent was, like he's fighting on ESPN Plus for the first time, like that was it. And it kind of like got me thinking. It was like, wow, if they're just like pouring everything into this guy and he gets KO'd by Cerrone, it's going to be bad. Another Rousey moment, but I know Conor can kind of come back for a loss better than Rousey. Obviously, Rousey hasn't been, she hasn't been back ever since that Nunes fight. But
what year was that? 2016.
Yeah,
I think it was 2016.
Yeah, because that's what ended off that was the best year in the UFC. They had like $4 or $5 million pay-per-views, which was insane because Conor fought, Rousey fought.
That was the same year that Garbrandt won the belt. I think it was the same exact card. He fought Dom Cruz.
Yeah, that is. He was the co-main on that card. You're right.
Yeah, that was a great year. And I know Dana came out and said like this was the most successful year, but I really don't see how, especially with like, I mean, I don't know how many pay-per-views like Nate versus Jorge did, but I don't think it's close to a McGregor, pay-per-view number. So I'm also curious to see what McGregor versus Cerrone does in pay-per-view buys, because I know, Conor's going through all that crap with like the allegations in Ireland, stuff like that. So I really am curious to see how many people like he still has behind him. And like, you see all this stuff, especially like the stuff we get on our social media. There's a lot of people from Ireland that like just don't care about him anymore because of like the stuff that he's done. So I'm curious to see really, people are all talk. They're like, oh, I'm not going to buy his stuff. But like, he's going to come and do 2 million pay-per-view buys. So,
Yeah.
And then I guess just like a potential, Conor Khabib rematch. I mean, is that something you guys are interested to see? Do you think Conor, if they fight 10 times, does Conor at least win one? Like, what do you guys think about a rematch there?
I don't think right away it makes sense. I think it would actually be kind of off-putting to a lot of UFC fans that, McGregor doesn't. I don't think he necessarily deserves the title shot at this point, but he's got some other fighters that have been more active, in front of him.
Yeah.
But I definitely would like to see the two of them fight again. But I don't know. I'd like to see him have more fights, more wins. Maybe beat Cerrone, maybe fights Gaethje down the line.
Yeah.
He gets a few wins behind him before he gets another title shot.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing the UFC and, it's at the end of the day, this shit's still a business, right? So it's like, what's going to make the most money is Conor Khabib too, right? Yeah. But, I mean, from you guys, they fight 10 times. Does Conor beat Khabib once, you think, honestly?
I'm sure he could starch him if he lands.
Really think so?
I think he still has power in his hand, dude. It's MMA. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I think at any point, anybody could be starched, especially with someone if they have that timing and power. I mean, sure. If Khabib shoots in a takedown, he catches him, something like that. Definitely. I don't think Khabib would win 10 times out of 10. He'd probably win 9 times out of 10. But I mean, there's always that chance. You can, especially in MMA, can't rule it out.
Yeah, and I think with Conor being more active this year, like how he plans on being, I think it gives him a better chance to not have the ring rust and all that, because he had a lot of different things going into that Khabib fight where I don't know, when was his Diaz fight before that? Was that like a full year almost before that? He was out of the ring for a while.
It was
he had the Floyd fight in between there. I think he was out for like 2 or 3 years.
It was like 2 years,
yeah. So he's out of the ring for a while, and then he had all of his business stuff, the proper whiskey and some other things where he's traveling around. So, and he even said in that interview that he wasn't really focused during that whole training camp, and he wasn't listening. I mean, which could be an excuse, but it did seem like he had a lot going on.
Yeah, and his foot was a balloon.
Yeah.
How do you guys think the fight plays out?
For like the rematch?
No. How do you think the McGregor Cerrone fight plays out? I don't know if we talked about that yet. Like in terms of like who's got the advantage where. I mean, I think Cerrone could. So, dude, did you see that Conor actually has like 1-inch reach advantage over Cerrone?
Dude,
like,
he's got long arms.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that kicking range. I think if Cerrone just kept him out at kicking range, he'd probably. I think you could take the fight to him from there, like you guys said on the ground. But I don't know where do you see in terms of like in terms of just striking? I mean, Conor's definitely got better boxing. His hands are way better than Cerrone.
Yeah, I mean, me being just a Conor fan, right, and like he's the reason why I kind of got into all this. So, right, like, do I want to see him start Cerrone in the first round? Yes. Do I think he can do it? Yeah, 100%. I got 2 predictions. I think it's either going to be a Conor first round TKO, or I'm going to be completely serious. I think it's going to be a late Cerrone KO. I really do. I think if anyone can knock out McGregor, I think Cowboy can do it with like a head kick or like something crazy like that. I really do. But I do believe that Conor's taking this seriously. I do think that he's like all in on this fight and wants to prove that, like, listen, Gaethje just knocked Cerrone out in the first round. Tony, just TKO'd. Obviously they had to stop the fight in the second round. Conor has to do it in very good fashion, very exciting fashion for people to take him serious again. So I'm thinking he can do this fast. I think he can put it away in the first and then, kind of gain respect back, and then let's see what he does after that. But Kev, what do you think? What's your prediction?
Yeah, I honestly think the same exact thing. I think, Conor's going to come out quick like he always does. And I just watching Cerrone's past couple fights, he gets
Slow starter.
yeah, he's a slow starter, but he gets kind of wobbled. It seems like he's getting wobbled easier in some of his past fights. But and I think if he starts taking left hands from Conor, it might be a quick night. So I think the fight's probably going to go pretty similar to how the Gaethje fight went, where it's just going to be really, really quick, and Conor's going to end up knocking him out. But if Cerrone gets out of that first round, I think his chance, I think it just completely flips after that. I think Cerrone's going to have the advantage just because Conor's got the extra weight on him. He's always had, some cardio issues.
Yep.
And, you don't really see Cerrone get tired. And he's got more tools, too. If he does wrestle with him, wears him down a little bit, he's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got finishes, arm bars, triangles, knockout finishes. So he's got a lot of tools that he can play with. And I think if he can get Conor to the point where he gets tired, I think he can really take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, Chael Sonnen said it best. I know he has some ridiculous takes, but he said Cowboy has many more ways to win this fight than Conor does. And I thought about that for a second, and I'm like, dude, 100%. This is not an easy fight for Conor. And people, I know everyone's like, oh, what are you talking about? You just said he's going to knock him out in the first round. But like you said, if he gets out of that first round, I think this is going to be interesting after the first round. I really do. So I think we just kind of wait and see. Zach, what's your final prediction?
I think Kev made a great point where he's talking about Cerrone getting wobbled more and more. And, I think the biggest thing that Cerrone's had an issue with throughout his career is people like pressuring him, and getting inside his range. I mean, that's how Masvidal knocked him out. And I think that McGregor is a great pressure fighter. So he'll pressure people, and then when they come back at him, that's when he goes on the counter. I think he's one of the best at it. I mean, that's how his left hand is so great.
Yeah.
But in all the times that McGregor's cardio has failed, it's been when people have been putting the pressure on him and just making him exhausted and tired. And I don't know that Cerrone is the kind of guy that can put that pressure on McGregor to gas him. So I think that if it goes outside the first round, I don't know how tired McGregor will be if Cerrone's not, constantly pressuring him. So we'll see. I think it's going to be. I hope it's going to be a good fight. I hope it goes outside the first round, so it's worth the pay-per-view buy.
Yeah.
Dude, it always sucks when it ends super quick.
Yeah, and they added $5 to the pay-per-view too, something like that.
Some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, what you got to put in consideration is like the moment, right? Cerrone's never been in a fight of this magnitude where he's going to have, I know he's been in main events of plenty of shows, right? But this is like a Conor McGregor show. You're getting different eyes from everywhere here. You're getting friggin' different celebrities. You're getting different sports watching this. Like, you got a different mentality coming to this fight. The vibe in the arena is going to be crazy. So it's all about the moment. Like, look what happened to, Jose Aldo with all the trash talk, and the moment was too big for Jose. And I think that's why he came in and McGregor knocked him out in 13 seconds, right? Conor was in his head. This fight's different because I feel like the vibe here is, there's no trash talk, right? I think they're doing a press conference like the week of the fight. So it's like, we're not seeing that McGregor show where McGregor's on stage just shitting on everyone, flaunting his 2 belts, doing all this stuff. So it's like, that's why I really do think he's taking this seriously. Like, you saw with the Khabib one, right? Those press conferences were friggin' brutal, man. Like, he was saying some things that, like, we've never heard him say before. And he was trying to get into Khabib's head, but Khabib is just a stone cold killer, right? And so for this one, I really do think he's like, you know what, screw the media. I'll do maybe one press conference the week of the fight, but other than that, I'm going to focus on knocking this dude out. So I do like that. I mean, as much as I am entertained by Conor's trash talk and all that stuff, it is kind of nice not seeing him act like an idiot and like actually seeing him like interview in the gym, friggin' sweating, like knowing he just put in like a good spar, did whatever. So like, I'm excited to see that. But I mean, overall, these two guys, I really do. I know kind of all three of us had different predictions here, but it's like, I think this is going to be a great fight, a great comeback fight, you know, for both of them, right? And if this is Cerrone's last one, what better way to end it off than with a little red panty night? You know what I mean? And I think, you know, when it's all said and done, I think there's going to be a great picture of, you know, Conor holding up proper 12, Cowboy holding up some Budweiser, and they're going to be boys after this. You know what I mean? So I think overall it's going to be a great night. On our next episode, we're actually going to preview the whole UFC 246 card next week. So we'll give you that. We just wanted to give just a quick preview of the main event because this is starting off 2020 with a bang. Everyone leave your comments on your predictions. Who's going to win the fight and how? And then next week we'll preview the entire card there. So, guys, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No.
Perfect. All right, guys, starting 2020 off with a bang here. Flatlined MMA, new content every day. Tell us what you want to see on the next episode. Tell us what you want to see for content for Instagram, Twitter, anything. And then if you need CBD, click the link below. 10% off. Use the code Flatline10. In the meantime, Flatline MMA. Peace.